The Houston Rockets currently have one of the worst records in the NBA at 13-43 and haven't been able to find their rhythm, especially offensively. However, the young core of this team has the potential to be very scary in just a couple of years. In this video, I'll be breaking down the emergence of Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green. With the right development, these guys can turn into superstars in the NBA. However, before we jump into today's video, make sure you guys comment down below your opinion on Alperen Sengun. How high do you think his potential really is? Also, hit that like button if there's a chance the Houston Rockets can secure up that #1 pick in this year's draft to select Victor Wembanyama. Guys, over the past couple of years, Alperen Sengun has been flying under the radar and hasn't been getting the recognition he truly deserves from the media. But when you look at the success of the Rockets, I guess I kind of understand why the media doesn't really want to bring up the Houston Rockets at the moment. They haven't been the greatest team in the world, obviously. But Sengun has the potential to become an immediate superstar within the next few years. I also don't want to sit here and maybe overestimate him or, put too much on his plate. But I truly think he can be one of the next great bigs in the NBA. When you look at his development from year 1 to year 2, it's actually pretty eye-opening. Let's just compare the 2 years really quickly. So year 1, he averaged about 9.6 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists, while shooting 47.4% from the floor and 24% from the three-point line. Now remember those stats as we go into the second year. But even in year 1, he did show some flashes, and we didn't really start to see the major flashes until year 2. Now, in year 2, he averaged 15.3 points, 8.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists while shooting 56% from the floor and 33% from 3. With that being said, he's improved in every single category from year 1 to year 2. I think in steals and blocks, he's pretty much around the same, but all those other categories, he has made a sign of improvement. So, not only has he improved as a great scorer in the paint, but he's also shown signs of improvement from shooting jumpers as well. Although he doesn't make or take many three-pointers per game, we can still see that there's been, an upgrade, an improvement, development in his shot selection and his form in general. What this tells me right away is he's been working on his game and wants to improve each and every single offseason. So I think work ethic is one of the most important things when it comes to NBA players. If they have the work ethic, they could be a very good player. And some players just don't got it, man. They're very content and very complacent with where they're at. But I don't think Alperen Sengun is one of those players. I think he wants to come out here. I think he wants to work and be the best player that he can, potentially be. Now, the thing that is really starting to jump off the page when I watch him play is his passing ability, and his IQ is amazing as well. It is too early to tell, but I believe he's already one of the best passing bigs in the entire NBA at 20 years old. He gives me Nikola Jokic vibes, and it's already, like I said, 20 years old, and he's already playing like a very good passing big man. It's honestly kind of scary to even think about. If I'm the Houston Rockets, I would definitely start to run the offense through him because he could create a lot more opportunities for guys to play off the ball like Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. especially. They would do so much better being able to run off screens and get more open shots, and they would be able to retain their energy just because they're not, having the ball in their hands all the time. Kind of like what the Nuggets do with Nikola Jokic. He's pretty much their primary ball handler is what I was trying to say. But I would be able to put my trust into him being their main facilitator as well. He's got a high passing IQ, and his court awareness is some of the best in the NBA. He is actually a very special talent, and the Rockets have something brewing over here in Houston. Guys, real quickly, smash that like button and let me know if you guys think Sengun truly has great potential. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're going to be dropping a ton of NBA videos all year long, so join the family and turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we drop a video. Now, let's move on to guys like Jalen Green and Jabari Smith Jr. These two players have shown a ton of flashes as well. Now, let's start with Jalen Green. Jalen Green has been labeled as a go-to scorer, especially in his second season here for the Rockets. This year, he's averaging about 22 points per game and is leading the team in that category. Now, you look at a guy like Jabari Smith in his rookie season with the Rockets, we see a guy who is very, very, very raw, but also has shown a ton of potential to be very good in this league as well. Defensively, he's got the height and the length to be one of the best defensive wings in the entire NBA. His wingspan allows him to contest jumpers and shots in general at a high level, and he's already averaging a block per game in his rookie season. Offensively, he's gelled very well with Sengun, already being able to cut to the basket at perfect times. And Sengun, like I said, a great passer, is always able to find him cutting to the basket. And even when Sengun draws two defenders, he can still find Jabari Smith cutting to the basket at perfect times. And that's how he's been getting most of his points. However, the one big knock on these guys, Jalen Green and Jabari Smith, is their efficiency from shooting, especially from behind the arc. They have been one of the worst teams in the NBA when it comes to shooting the ball, and they have a lot of work to put in. And because in today's NBA, if you can't shoot the three ball, it's going to be very hard for you to, stay in games, compete in games with teams like the Celtics or the Warriors or other teams like that who just take 43s a game. So you want to be able to shoot the three ball at a decent clip. And we looked at some of the stats. At the moment, their best three-point shooting player is Tari Eason at 35%. And that is not very good at all. This is one of the major things holding this team back from being very good. However, I do think they're still so young and right around the corner from being a dangerous team in the NBA. With a little bit of development, I think, or I can only imagine how good they can be. Lastly, I want to remind you guys that in this draft class, there's a guy named Victor Wembanyama. And at the moment, the Rockets do have the best odds at bringing him into Houston. Now, if they are able to bring him to Houston, it's going to get a whole lot scarier for the NBA. I mean, the length and the defensive potential of Jabari Smith and Victor Wembanyama on the court at the same time would be absolutely insane and almost impossible to score on at times. They would have a ton of shot blocking ability, and both are 7 feet tall, move their feet very well, for being that tall. Guys, obviously, we don't know if they're going to have that number one pick, but if they do, we're going to have to start talking about the what-ifs, because that's what makes the draft so much fun, man. Just imagine a team of Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith, Victor Wembanyama, and Alperen Sengun, Tari Eason off the bench. I mean, this team would not only be young, but they would be hungry, and man, they could develop into being one of the best teams that we've seen in a long time. Now, overall, I do think the Houston Rockets are a couple of years away from being extremely dangerous out here in the NBA, but I love the team's future with Sengun and Jabari Smith, Kevin Porter Jr., Tari Eason, and Jalen Green, man. They have a ton of potential and just have to start to develop these guys, and the sky is truly the limit for this team, guys. That's all I have for you guys today. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family. We're going to be posting a ton of NBA content all year long. And also comment down below who is the most underrated player on the Houston Rockets right now.